Hello everyone, welcome to Obsessed Garage. I'm Matt Mormon. This is product focus on right angle impacts. These are newer. They're not new, but they're newer in the last year of me whenever I'm making this video. I don't know when you're watching it. But these puppies I use all the gosh darn time. You can see they're dirty. I try to wipe them down, but you can see I banged them up a bit. This is the 1/2" version, and then we also did the 3/8. I was really torn on this. You know, which one do you want? Most of the tools, most of like the stubbies and most of the impacts, I'm choosing to put a 1/2" friction ringed version of the tool in my cabinet. Now, in my cabinet, these I have both. 3/8 anvil and 1/2" anvil. And my methodology there is, now of course it's a luxury to have both, but the methodology is I find myself often having, especially with something like this, at times I'll be using 3/8 stuff and times I'll be using 1/2", and then on the same project where I'm using it underneath the car, using it in the engine bay, using it to remove something that requires more torque than just the regular ratcheting, the ratcheting wrench version. But I think, and I'm justifying this here, but I think that both of these belong in my cabinet, so I think they probably belong in yours. I would start with the 1/2". You can always step down. I guess you could always step up a 3/8, but I'd rather step down if I had the choice. You could always get an anvil, you know, step up or step down socket. And I also think it makes sense, especially for these, you're going to be switching out rather quickly. I think it makes a lot of sense to stick with doing the friction ring version instead of a pin detent, because then I can pull it on and off by hand rather than having to get something to push the pin in to remove the tool. Now, if you're a mechanic and you have this tool that's set up for one thing and one thing only, maybe it makes sense to have a pin detent version, but for most of us, I think friction ring is the choice. So when you buy these, you have a couple of options. You can buy it as a 2.0. And if you do the math on these, the value is there, I think, to get the kit. This comes with, you can buy it as a 2.2 kit. It comes with a bag, not a case. So it comes with a nylon bag that I know some people love. I just punt mine in the trash or give it away or something like that, because I just keep these left in my cabinet. And the 2.2 kit, comes with two CP 2.0 batteries. I do find myself using a bigger battery with these, because these do use quite a bit more juice or electricity than some of your other smaller M12 stuff might use, like a 1/4" hex screwdriver or something like that. So I do find that, and it also stands up better when you get yourself an XE 4.0 battery, but these only come with the 2.0s. So I'll oftentimes actually run this with a XE 6.0. I don't think there's any performance increase with this, but if I'm going to be working on a project all day or for many, many hours, I'll throw an XE 6.0 battery. I usually keep 2 or 3 or 4 of these in my cabinet, just for a little additional performance and longevity. But that's, a lot of times how I'll use my tool. So these have forward and reverse. They break 220 foot-pounds of nut-busting torque. So I believe the architecture of this is very similar to the stubby, the regular stubby. I would actually choose this because this has more use than the stubby, just because of the size of the head and areas that you can get it in. So if I was going to choose one over the other, I would choose these first. I find myself using these in almost every car project. It has quite a bit more output than the regular ratcheting wrench, but gets in most of the same places that I can get in there. Use this for doing suspensions and stuff often. And so you can see, these are two of the dirtiest and most beat up tools that I have, and I clean these, as you might imagine. I try to keep my stuff pretty clean. When I get my dry ice machine, I'll be able to clean this stuff up. You have 3 adjustments, 1, 2, 3, and then a regular traditional sensing adjustment. But I find I just run it like most guys, just run it at max output at number 3 all the time, and then I can control. It does have a progressive trigger, so I can control speed by simply depressing the trigger more or less. But yeah, I think these are something that really need to be in your cabinet. I highly consider some of the newer tools that Milwaukee has made, and I don't think you can go wrong with either size. In a perfect world, just pick up both of them, pick them both up in a 2-2 kit. You end up with 4 batteries, and you'll be good to go. So, available at obsessedgarage.com. Hit us up, support at obsessedgarage.com if you have questions, you need some advice on which one to get, and appreciate your support. See you soon.